Good morning, and welcome to your daily Farm and Home Show, brought to you by the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. And now, here's your host.
Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna, and this morning we're visiting with David Embrey. He's the Edmonson County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Joanna. Thanks for having me this morning.
Well, I'm glad you're here today. We're talking about one of your favorite subjects, and that's forages. And
Yes.
you know, we're just a forage-based state.
Yes, we are.
And a lot of times in the winter we think, well, there's not much I can do besides feed hay.
Right.
But we probably need to start planning, and there are some things that we can do to improve our pastures, and you're going to talk about those today.
That's right, Joanna. Not just pastures, but hay fields as well. Everybody thinks about forages, they mostly think about grass. There are other forages out there, such as clover, alfalfa, those kind of things that people have in their pastures or have in their yards, and they don't always think about those. But pastures and hay fields can really benefit from the addition of clovers or some type of legume. Of course, a lot of people don't realize soybeans are actually a legume as well. They're just raised for a grain crop. Many years ago, my father told me stories about hauling soybean hay. We don't want to get into that right now, but legumes are something that are very nutritious, have a high protein quality and quantity, and they can help offset a lot of times the problems that you might have from your end-of-fight infected fescues. You can dilute the effects of that by adding a clover to a hayfield or a pasture. And there are a lot of different ways to do it, but we're specifically going to focus on frost seeding today, because frost seeding is something that's easy to do, a little cold maybe, but it's easy to do, and it's something that farmers can get out there when they've got a lot of downtime in the winter and get it done.
And you know, a lot of times people, when they call and they say, I want to renovate my pasture, but it's so much work, and there's so many steps that go along with it. But this is probably the easiest, the least management intensive thing that we can do that really can pay dividends.
It probably is. There's a nice little blurb on the website that talks about maximizing success with frost seedings of clovers. The easiest way to get started is, of course, check our soil fertility first. We want to make sure that our soil is good and fertile, and we've got the kind of nutrients in the soil that we need for those crops. The next thing is we got to select a good variety. We've got to get an improved variety. We've got to spread enough seed. Now, depending on what you're sowing is going to determine how much seed you're actually going to need. Another thing is we've got to make sure that we've got some bare soil out there. You know, if we've got a lot of thatch or a whole lot of real heavy ground cover, then some of those seeds are going to kind of go to waste on us, which is why in some cases we'll recommend just a little bit more seed than what you really need, because there will be some that might go to waste a little bit if you're not careful.
Now, David, I want to go back just a minute to certified seed. You know, somebody's saying, well, I got a great deal on this seed, but it wasn't certified. Now, is that a risk?
That is a risk. You have to be very, very careful of that. Certified, or what we call proprietary seed, and that just simply means that the company you're buying it from owns it. But either certified or proprietary seed is what we want, because this seed that you're sold on these great deals, as they're called, if it's not certified and you get an excellent price on it, some of it will come up, but the majority of it most likely won't, because it's been sitting for a long time and a lot of that seed's viability is no good anymore.
Okay, so just be mindful of.
Be aware of that, yes.
Great deals. Okay, so.
That's correct. And the next thing was to get good seed soil contact, and that goes into having that bare soil. You've got to have that bare soil for good seed soil contact, so you've got to remember that. And controlling competition the next spring. Now, the easiest way to do that is, if you're sowing grass seeds, you want to do that in the fall, because in the fall everything's getting ready to go dormant. Your seeds are going to have a chance to sprout and get established and do very well. Frost seeding clovers in the wintertime is another way to help that, because once they have sprouted and started growing, they're already going with everything else that's already there. If you're trying to sow in the spring, say in April, everything that's already there is already growing, it's growing fast, and those seeds have a lot more competition. So you have to be careful about the competition that they're facing out there.
And you know, seeding clovers can help us maybe with some of that competition, because it's going to germinate quicker, and we're going to not maybe have all that bare soil there.
That's correct. And another thing that they'll do, if they're properly inoculated, they can help fix nitrogen out of the air, reducing the need for nitrogen fertilizers.
And that's always good news when we're looking at inputs and the pricing of that. And you know, what's great in Kentucky is we always know that we're gonna have some type of frost freeze situation
Exactly.
that'll help us work that seed in to get that good seed to soil contact that
correct,
you mentioned.
yes.
So David, if people have questions, do we have resources available?
We do. We have a lot of publications that deal with this. Renovating Pastures and Hayfields is one of those publications.
Okay.
We've got a lot of different things that we can help with.
All right. Thanks, David, for the information. We appreciate you watching.
If you have questions about today's topic, please call the Warren County Extension Office at the number on your screen. Thanks for watching and have a great day.